Ladies and gentlemen, August 16th, we have UFC 319, the main event, the fight I've been waiting for years and years is finally about to go down. DDP versus Khamzat. And I saw a really interesting clip that I had to cover because this speaks directly to that main event, the people's main event, the main event that I'm so excited about. And it's from none other than Ali Abdelaziz, the most prominent manager in the world of mixed martial arts. This guy has so many people, amazing fighters under his team. Islam Makhachev is one of his great fighters. Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo are both on his roster as well. Now, this is Ali, who knows the game, I think, better than almost probably any other manager, at least second to none, let's say. Knows the game, knows the sport. He used to manage Khamzat, but he doesn't anymore. And this is very important because if he managed Khamzat and picked Khamzat, or managed DDP and picked DDP, right, you can't give this much credibility. But he doesn't manage either of the guys. He used to manage Khamzat. And he says in this interview that they have a good relationship. I don't know what how close they actually are. Or do they still have a relationship? Or are they just friendly with each other? I have no idea. But anyways, I thought it was very important to get Ali Abdelaziz's prediction out there to the people. On top of that, he also manages Kamaru, who fought Khamzat before. Anyways, so let's hear what he has to say. Kamaru Usman says, we got a big fight coming up in the middleweight division. How do you see it going? Check out this response. Very interesting.
I believe this. Everybody know I used to work with Khamzat, and I love the guy. I have a lot of love for him. I think it's like people seem this crazy guy, but he have a really good heart. He really does. If Khamzat right now, though, if he's focused, and if he's whatever he does, remember, Khamzat never have a conditioning problem before this. After COVID, it really messed him up. And I was there. He was bleeding, thrown up. Like, it was one of the craziest things I ever seen. Like, thrown up, like blood. It was, and he was in Vegas, right? But also Khamzat moved, just traveling. And he's a superstar. He's one of the biggest stars in the UFC. When you have this kind of pressure, sometimes people doesn't know how to handle it. And I think at one point, he walked away from that. He was his own boss, his own coach. But as far as I know now, he's in Russia, he's in camp, he's focused. It's hard to bet against focused Khamzat, healthy Khamzat. I think he can beat anyone on any given day. But also, this Plessis guy, honestly, when you look at this guy, like the way he wins, I was like, how does this guy win? Like, he's just so tough, so durable. And he's a warrior, man. He really is a warrior. I have to give it to him. But also, as talent, as technique, is Khamzat all day. But if you go to the third and fourth and fifth round, how this fight gonna go? I believe Khamzat can go there, did to him what he did to Robert Whittaker. 100%, I believe this. But if Khamzat doesn't do this, what's gonna happen, right? And this is why we buy the pay-per-view. That's why we're gonna go watch the pay-per-view, because it's the greatest sport on the planet. Because you don't know the unseen. How many times you think, oh, you're a professional fighter, you pick this guy to win, and he doesn't win, right? You never know.
There's been rumors,
but I'll pick up Khamzat to win. I'll pick up Khamzat to win.
There's been rumors.
Boom. Okay, so there it is. There's the prediction. He's going with Khamzat. But again, his hesitation to even pick somebody once again reinforces how incredible this fight is. Look, we saw something amazing at UFC 317 with Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. That being said, though, I think almost everybody was predicting and thinking that Ilia was going to win. This is not the same, right? This fight is very, very fascinating. And I think Khamzat might slightly have the odds based on the bookies, but it's a very close fight. If you look at James Lynch's channel where he goes through and asks professionals, I think it was like 19 pros picked DDP versus 18 pros picking Khamzat. It's a razor close decision. And you generally hear the same narrative over and over. If it ends early, it's going to be Khamzat. If it goes to later rounds, it's going to be DDP. I don't know if I don't believe it's simply going to be that simple. I think Khamzat's cardio, Ali does mention that going through that entire bout with COVID damaged his cardio, but I don't know. I'm starting to think that his cardio actually has recovered and is a lot better than what it even used to be back when he did a full 3 rounds with Gilbert Burns, when he did a full 3 rounds with Kamaru Usman. By the way, he won the 3rd round on the judges' scorecards against Gilbert Burns. So I think that he gets this really bad rap for having terrible cardio, and it's just not true when he's winning round 3. And they're like, oh, but if it went 2 more rounds, he would have been dead. Yeah, but he's pacing himself for 3 rounds, so that logic just doesn't make any sense. You can't keep clinging to that narrative. Regardless, I think it's very interesting. I think it's very telling. He doesn't manage either guys. He does say he has a relationship with Khamzat. I don't know how close he is, but push comes to shove, he's leaning towards Khamzat. I'm leaning towards Khamzat. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's 2 guys, big guys that I really trust, Kaio and Ali Abdelaziz, that are leaning towards Khamzat. On the other side of the coin, we have to recognize that Robert Whittaker, who fought both of these guys, actually picked DDP in a recent interview. So a lot of back and forth. Let's see what happens. You guys know who I'm picking. You guys know who I want to win, even though I am a fan of DDP. I do want Khamzat to get this victory and to be the reigning champ. But let's see what he can really do in the middleweight division in the UFC as a whole. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.